dominating type horsemanship, let me tell you one thing about it. It is the beginning of a very difficult journey, a long journey. It will be one of the hardest, most thought-provoking journeys you're ever going to take. But it's the most rewarding thing you'll ever do. So I don't want to share with you, this is no quick fix. This is no suggestion that this is the easy way out. And because we try and get a horse to do so much on the ground, we do use our hands and arms a lot. I had a little accident yesterday, is the reason mine is so sore. But the truth is, this all takes a lot of work and a lot of energy. You might want to slip out in the mud, because I'm a little worried about our arena wall here a little bit. She's going to work on that feel a little bit, and we're going to see if we can get this horse. And then what I want to go to from this casual circle is I want to start working on some hip disengagement from it. And we're going to, once he gets free moving, and he's walking and then going to a trot, moving real freely, just in the right arc and with the right attitude, and willing to do it. And there's a fine line here between too much and too little. You see his fear level and his reaction level. Pretty soon he's going to start settling and saying, "Oh, why didn't you just tell me I needed to walk and trot in a little circle around you? That's all it was. Oh, you want a casual circle." Well, in the meantime, he's going to say, "Well, what's all this about?" There's a difference in where we place our hands when we bend the body parts. When we're pulling them forward, it gives pressure forward. When we start stopping them or bending them, we'll pull back a little bit. When we start asking for the hip to start disengaging, we'll start moving our hand, and I'm talking about her right hand in this case, up toward his wither. So as he starts moving very freely, she'll start doing more bend. You see how she's going up toward his wither, and now his hind end is moving? She'll reinforce that too. If he all of a sudden gets stuck in the mud, she'll tap him from underneath right by the flank and help that hip to move over. Now, the one thing about a hip disengagement, and here's where we're going to get a little deep for you, but if you'll kind of tuck it away until we start riding a horse, you'll see why. When we start asking for hip disengagement, assume that I'm the back half of a horse. Now that's dangerous, is it not? I've been called that even. Okay, if we assume these are his back legs, when she's asking for that hip disengagement, what we want is this: a crossover, a reach, a crossover, a reach, a crossover, a reach. Okay, we don't want a cross behind and a reach, ever. So we want them to cross over the front, reach, over the front, or reach and come to it, reach and come to it. But as soon as the crossover happens, we don't want it to go behind. So the horse has to be thinking forward. Then at that point, once she goes to the withers, his hind leg, his right hind leg, will cross over the left hind leg. Start just going to the wither at a walk now. See how that's going over the front? Now, you notice she tapped. Why did she tap? He was doing it. The reason she tapped is she noticed he's starting to back up. When he starts backing up, it's going to go behind. So she wants him thinking forward, and then he will cross over in front. Let me tell you what that's like. Now, for all you 14-year-olds, or what is it, 16 now when you get a learner's permit, or 14? I can't. 14? Still the same. That's when that's how I got my horse. To drive a truck for a farmer. Okay, you got a learner's permit. You're in a dually. You got 5 on the floor, and you're going really pretty fast. And all of a sudden, you got no brakes. But you got a clutch. And you got a steering wheel, and sooner or later you can coast to a stop. Well, on a horse, it's much like that. This isn't a brake, but it's like a clutch. If I do a hip disengagement, it's like spinning your wheel so that you're doing an itty-bitty little circle, putting the clutch in, and that's going to do a circle until all of a sudden it just stops. So a hip disengagement can totally take the engine power away from the drivetrain. Okay, what we want is more than just taking energy away like if they're running off. Let's say our horse likes to kick another horse. What they have to do to kick is plant a leg to kick. What if our horse likes to rear up? What do we have to do? We have to engage that engine, that rear end. They have to be on their hindquarters to rear up. So when we ask for this movement, we have gained control over their drivetrain. It's what we want to do with it after that that makes the difference then. Because now, after we've disengaged them, we can ask them to do something different. So if we have a horse that bucks, kicks, rears, or bolts, this is a pretty important movement, and we want this horse to know how to do it. So when we ride this horse, we want to be able to do that from a safety perspective. And the neat thing is, it's one of the foundational moves for collection, for controlling a side pass, for many maneuvers that we'll do to help a horse or to control a horse. So it is very important that we teach this on the ground so we can teach it in the saddle. Okay, I think we'll come back to this horse. I'd like to take a little break right now, let you guys use the restroom, grab something to eat, and we'll come back here in, let's say,